as a warning, when you start daily energetic practices as grounding, shielding, or other things that you will find in a file, and just your intention alone and the studying those things makes you shine brighter than average person. Your energy becomes sweeter, more attractive, so you will attract all sorts of people, the best and the worst. There'll be lots of toxic, narcissistic type come to feed on you because it's sweet. If you notice, toxic people don't really bond with other toxic people because there is nothing to eat between them. They don't have anything to give. So the brighter you shine, the more of those people will be around you. Not because you attracted them. Don't buy into this new age faulty beliefs that, oh, you attract all of your experience. No, not everything around you is created or attracted by you. Unfortunately, we're not as strong and powerful, or luckily, we're not all that strong to create everything. So some things don't depend on you. The shaman is not just kind, light, loving light. You also have to be a warrior because you're watched very closely now. Every situation is a test, exam, lesson. Every person that comes in is a teacher, but also a student. You are watched by your ancestors. Every step you take, every decision, you are always watched by your gods, ancestors, guardians. Make them proud. Every time your phone rings, it's a test. How are you going to respond? Somebody disrespects you or asking for free services when you are struggling to pay your bills. Instead of reacting, getting upset, collect yourself. How would a warrior shaman respond to this situation? And obviously, the person needs to be explained or taught about life something. People will say they're broke. You have to help them for free. They're not broke, they're broken. People that expect you to do something for them without paying you, people that don't want to pay you for your time or work are broken. Create strong boundaries between those people and you. Or if you can, teach them better, to be better, to understand better. People will say healing should be free. Healing is free, it's available to everybody. Heal yourself all you want on your own time. You're not charging for the healing, charging for your time, for your talent, for your skills that you have developed, not just through this life, through many lifetimes. People will say gifts you have, given by God. You have to share it with everybody. No gifts is just given. You earned it, maybe through blood and sweat. Any other questions?
Hi there. This has been amazing. This has provided framework and understanding to so much that I've been doing with clients, but where I've just been led or guided into it. So my question is, I have 100 questions, but most of them are, I think, more specific to my own journey. So like I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening a couple of years ago. And since then, everything has kind of given structure and understanding to my experiences, just like today has. So my question is, do you do one-on-one, like one-off mentoring type of sessions? Because I want to ask you all these questions. I just don't think right now is the appropriate time because they're probably quite specific.
So, okay, well, I will interrupt you for a moment. I know we already running over our time. I am not in a rush. I will be happy to stay as long as you need to answer all your questions. If you have to go, please feel free. This is still on recording. You will get this part. If you have to go, I'll let you go. If you're not, please stay. I will be happy to stay longer and answer questions. Okay, we're good. All right. So number one question.
Oh God. Where do I start? Okay, so for me, all of this opening started, I discovered tantric energy by accident. I just discovered that I was moving energy and like experiencing arousal and full body energy orgasms. And I was like, what is going on? It was blowing my mind. And through that, discovered Tantra. And then it was after exploring Tantra that this expansion happened and a full Kundalini awakening. At the time, I didn't even know what a Kundalini awakening was, and it was really scary. I saw something on your website, and it was interesting because you say that that sort of initiation that can happen often will come back and happen again in the fall. Is that what you said?
Well, for me, it's in the fall. Not for everybody. It's different. It may not, but understand that once you awaken those energies, it's not just all yours.
Yeah.
There's something from outside's coming. So it's adjusting your body.
Right.
So that can be like maintenance and attunement. And every time you acquire a new skill, moving on to the next level, there will be another attunement. If you take care of yourself, you do daily meditation, grounding, you exercise, you nourish your body, those attunements, you will not feel it. When you feel it, that you haven't done enough work, so it had to be so aggressive.
Amazing. Yeah, because I have had cycles in the fall, but right now I'm stepping fully into this work.
The fall, it's why is it more common in the fall? Because the veil between the barrier between the worlds is the thinnest in the fall. So the pathway becomes free for us to go into the other worlds, and from entities from the other worlds, they come in freely, and those energies visit. So that's why that happened more in the fall. And you probably noticed if you have extrasensory abilities, clairvoyance, if you have visions, they probably more intense in fall, because we don't have this strong barrier now.
Wow. I can let someone else ask another question instead of just firing all mine off, because I have 100.
Hi. I heard you mention earlier about sometimes with energy healers, they say that they don't really feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you said, this will make you feel. Is this soul retrieval, is this what you mean by that?
The third workshop that is planned for August 14th. This is when I'm gonna teach energy.
Right.
The shamanic way. When your body shakes, when things come out from your body, when you really feel it. Okay, so that's, and it's easier way. You don't have to go through 2 years of 3 levels of Reiki and stuff. It's easy. You'll know everything you need to know about energy healing. So the bundles that I offered for 3 workshops, not everyone sign up. If you still want to, if it's not wild enough for you, if you decide to join, I will honor that discount. So just message me, I'll send you the invoice so you get 2 workshops for 1. It's going to be fun, and I know that nobody will show you that here. I know that because I've always in these communities interacting, and I don't mind sharing. I mean, at this point, I don't have to work. I just do it because I want to.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure.
I can see you and hear you, yes.
Oh, okay, good. I want to say thank you for this course. I actually just discovered it literally yesterday, and I was so hyped. To jump on, but I already am in the practice of, I'm a shamanic life coach, but this kind of added an extra layer to simplify what I do. So how do I, without being triggered? Let me say it like that. Without being triggered back to fear, how do I continue to go forth and do it so they understand this is who I am now, but without being, it's
a daily work. It's a process, daily process, inner conversation, your truth and stand by it. And if you don't have this internal dialogue daily, yes, it's easy
to get
kicked back. into the fear. It's easy to, being influenced by other people's opinions. But if you start your morning with looking in the mirror, affirming, reminding yourself who you are and why you do this, where are you going, then other people's opinions don't matter much. Okay? But the more work you do, the more resistance you'll meet. This is normal. We live in a dual world. Contrary to popular belief, this world is not ruled by love. I'm sorry to disappoint you. This
So
is
just
so the normal balance in this world, according to ancient scriptures, 62% good, 38% evil.
thank you, Samantha.
Okay?
Thank you.
It's our job to keep it in balance as much as we can, so dark forces don't take over. But if, either way, the balance is lost, even if it's all love and light, we will cease to exist. There is no more growth. For would we come here? We can stay in heaven and enjoy love life. This is not why we're here. We're not on vacation. This is a big school. Or a prison, some people say. Constant affirmation to yourself, reminder. Where am I going? Who am I? But it can be heartbreaking with your friends or even family who don't understand, but also they feel threatened. You're growing, you're doing something that you feel important. And they feel threatened that you now moving away from them. They're afraid to lose you.
I just lost my grandmother
I'm
and two of my uncles, and losing them is what really pushed me to start living my true authentic self. Like, I kind of hid my gifts for years because I was afraid. Trying to explain that to friends and family is like they're lacking. I mean, and not that I did this.
You feel that you need to prove whatever label you put on yourself or title.
Right.
Yeah, you need to prove yourself.
And I don't like labels.
Are you faking it? Are you pretending? Yeah. What is this new game you're playing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Nobody becomes a healer out of blue. You have chosen this path before incarnating. And all these forces around you, they keep pushing. Why do we have such a struggle and difficulties in life? Because we're not following our path, what we're supposed to do. And our guides working very hard, pushing us. And we think, oh, why is this happening to me? Is it my bad karma? Somebody's out to get me. No, they're steering you into the right direction. Maybe all the struggle wouldn't be there and the suffering if you from beginning knew where to go. That's why I always say, like, just do your astrological numerological chart. At least it will give you some sort of roadmap. In adult life, it's especially powerful. Now you have half of life you already experienced. You can read your chart and say, that's truly happened. This is real. This is for real. Then maybe I can trust what else is written. And if there are some difficulties, how can I avoid it? What is the lesson comes with it? Then it's easier. And to proving that you are a healer or a shaman, why do you think you're here today? Who do you think it just happened accidentally? You signed up last day.
Yeah, I did.
Last day.
And I had trouble with my email and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna hold up.
Maybe your guides were pushing you here for a few years now. So just they can tell you through me, you're a shaman, you're a healer. You don't need to prove anything. And every time you get calls from people signing up for appointment or asking for your help, for your advice, it doesn't happen out of blue. Their guides bringing them to you because only you can help them. What proof do you need now? Are you crying?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, it's just nothing you did. I'm overwhelmed. It was a lot. And it was like everybody's reactions was like totally no. I mean, I figured I was gonna get the reaction, but it was just like I didn't realize I'm gonna get that kind of reaction.
You
Like,
waited for approval from your friends and they're totally lost. Like, what's happening? Are we losing her? Are we
Yeah.
losing her now? They feel threatened.
yeah, I feel like that too. And so I'm just been trying to like close myself off and just stay focused and, you know,
Yeah, so
and
just if you have to, temporary, you can create a little distance. If you are triggered this way, then once you're more solid in your truth, once you feel stronger, you can let them closer again. Not many people are meant to follow through the entire life journey. When you go to school, you don't stay in one class forever. Even if some people didn't do well and they had to retake some class, some grade second time, I mean, it wasn't your obligation to stay there with them to retake that. The same in life. We all have our own journey. And if somebody cannot keep up with you, this is not your fault. It doesn't mean that you have to cut out everybody, but you can create a little boundary where you don't get hurt.
I ain't gonna hold up time because I know other people want to ask questions, but thank you. I just, needed that. I love the energy everybody brought, and everybody's so beautiful. And I love the way that you taught the class. It was very down to earth. So thank you. I appreciate it today.
Other questions?
There's 2 hands up.
Yeah. You are muted. You muted yourself.
I didn't want to just jump in. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I've actually been a shamanic practitioner for 8 years, and I've studied with different teachers around the globe. But my primary teacher, the one I've been studying with the most over the last 5 years, she recently found out that I was going to be teaching. And so as a result, she's completely denounced me. She wants nothing to do with me because she thinks I'm not ready. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I signed up for your class today because I already have all my different trainings. I have different kinds of soul retrievals under my belt. And I wanted to see, I found you and felt connected to you. So I signed up for your class today. And I guess my question for you is, how do you personally feel about us working differently? So how there's perhaps many ways.
You're supposed to. That's why I'm against all of this formal rituals that have no relations to you. But they're not going to do anything. Worst case scenario, they will hurt you if you follow somebody's path. You're never alone. Every time you meet somebody, know that behind each person there is a whole army of ancestors, guardians, different God. We're so different, and of course you have to work differently. As for this teacher, it's her personal insecurity. I don't know why would teacher react this way. I would be proud. I would not be just proud. Everybody knows who took my courses. I'd be in everyone's hair. Are you doing this? What's next? Can I help you? What can I do for you? Let's start the course. Oh, I'm not ready. Yes, you've been ready yesterday. Let's start it. It's her personal insecurity. You don't have to take it on yourself. You feel ready, you're ready. And with the knowledge, when you receive this enormous amount of knowledge, you cannot hold it in. You're going to be punished, and your body is going to suffer. You need to pass it on to the others, and more flow through you. When you officially announce a class or whatever course you decide to take on, you're gonna notice so much going through you. You get all sorts of new inspirations and visions and all this, because now you have it to share with somebody.
Thank you.
It's selfish.
I wanted another opinion, right? I like asking lots of questions to lots of teachers and medicine people. So thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you for being here. Anybody else has a question? Don't be shy. I love questions because sometimes things come through that I wasn't even aware of. So I like this interaction. Audra, did you want to ask somebody else? Don't hold back.
I can ask more, but I saw Jones had her hand up earlier. So did you
somebody
want to
else?
ask a question, Jones?
Yeah. Jones, you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I moved away from my familiar area where I had some established classes going and a little bit of a practice going. And so now I'm in a whole new state and I'm very, very far away from, you build up that. I wasn't doing anything online. I'm not really an online kind of person, but I was doing, a lot within the community. And so now I just feel like I kind of have to start all over again. And
what do you do?
I speak light language. I'm a Reiki master teacher, and I also incorporate like some little bit of art therapy. I've taught some like art classes and craft classes that were just basically, I used to call it art table, where we would just all kind of get together, feel very free to talk about spirit and very, very, community, which I think is really needed in different.
Offer your services online, Zoom, Skype, Google.
Yeah.
None of the things you mentioned you cannot do online. Offer it online, classes, one-on-one session, form it into some clear packages. What is it? The description has to be clear what person will get, and then post it on your website, start promoting on your Facebook or on YouTube. With YouTube, don't discard this. Seriously, when I just started a long time ago, that was the first stream of clients came from YouTube. And I didn't know anybody. I'm from another country. So nothing. I had nothing here. And that's where the first clients came. I couldn't afford paid advertising then. So start YouTube. But what YouTube is great for also, if you really enjoy that, putting yourself out, creating those videos, whatever that format would be, whether meditation or like teachings or tips. Once you get 1,000 subscribers on your channel, which will happen very fast, you can monetize it. And at first it will be like $20 per month, but then it snowballs and it can alone bring you full-time income if you enjoy that.
So if I was to, I guess I'm just very intimidated by taping myself.
On camera right now. We're all listening. Look how many people looking at you. And
well, I'm not afraid of that. I'm afraid of like doing the technical stuff and lining it all up and getting that all going. I mean, I'm perfectly fine in front of people. I always have been, but
the technical part, you start with your phone, record your videos with the phone. And I wrote the list what microphones you may need, if you need to attach microphone to the computer, if you want to record with computer instead of phone. With your smartphone is the easiest way. The video will be better quality than what you see me now on the phone. Attached little microphones, $8. Where do I have it? I can see. So there's a little, it sticks into the phone and the sound becomes crystal clear. There are also little tripods specifically for the phone. If you'll put and search YouTube setup for the phone, you'll see the holder, the actual tripod, maybe $15, $20. Microphone, I bought mine for $8. This is all you need to start. The list of programs and softwares for editing, trimming, adding music, I put in the file for you.
Okay.
And then YouTube is a great resource. How do I do this? How do I upload? There are young kids teaching all that. They're so good with it. Yeah. And then as you create those, postings, promoting yourself, you can form it into classes that you can upload then on your website and sell it. or even on Etsy as a digital download. You can sell it.
Okay.
If if all of a sudden you've lost all your streams of income and you feel that you're struggling and stagnating, then you don't focus, oh, I need to make $5,000. Start, I need to make first $5. What is the best way for me to do this? So then you double it, and then you wouldn't realize how you make full time, and it keeps growing. It's
Okay.
more of graduality from little to big.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for class.
Thank you for being here.
I love my journey. It was really cool.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I had a question.
Yeah.
I posted it a while ago in the chat, but it's about post-psychedelic integration, because there's so many people that are doing plant medicine now, and there's not really much integration happening after the fact. And what I'm really noticing is among like my 18-year-old son, that generation is using plant medicine like crazy. Like
it's very dangerous, especially for developing brain, because it can set off schizophrenia even if he didn't have any prepositions for that before. This is very dangerous.
Right. That's my question, because I mean, I haven't actually experienced anybody that has gone into psychosis, but what do you ever do that using soul retrieval, like post psychedelic integration of experiences? Part of it is that they just keep using these
because they want to experience, they want to go there. It's so nice there. They want to go back, but they don't have skills or knowledge to go back. So you just do the full journey. You teach them so they can understand and experience that they don't need those drugs. They can do without it. Educating and letting them experience, like with your son. You said son? I'm sorry, I know it's probably scary and worrisome, and mama is not always authority, right?
Well, so, I mean, I'm no stranger to plant medicine. I've used it in a very intentional way, and actually my son uses it in a very similar way, because I taught him that even at 18, because I knew when he started to tell me about all of the kids around him that had access to, I can't even believe the things that they have access to now. And so I had to talk to him about, the spiritual ramifications from opening yourself up using these medicines. And, but it's mainly among his friends. Like, I feel like this is one of the next steps I'm going to be taking, is using my skills to help these kids after the fact. I mean, one time on one of my journeys, I ended up leaving several large pieces of my soul back in what I would call the void. I don't know how that happened, but I had to have a friend help me go and bring those back. It didn't really occur to me on the journey that I could actually leave them there. So anyway, I was just wondering if there's any little tidbits other than just following the script.
Well, simply educating before the actual, if you have a chance to use a script and create the journey for them, simply educating, describing what all this mean, what to prepare for, how, we're not going there for the sake just going for fun. We're doing work, we're resolving some fears, some issues, or we can acquire some resources. You find something beautiful, useful, you think might be useful, you have to teach them to bring it back. So they're not just tripping for fun, for the experience of it, but also getting results. So I think teaching theory may be more useful than actual, experience, since they do it on their own anyway.
Okay.
That makes sense, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that it is offering, a using the theory and
And
explaining.
what to do with what insights, visions they have, what to do afterwards, how to decode them, what does it mean, what is it used to you, you know?
They don't do any of that.
Exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly.
Whenever I've done any journeys using plant medicine or not, that's like the you have the experience, but it is the after that is like most important.
What do you do with it? Yeah. And I have clients like this. Oh, I spent 3 days, whatever, on a retreat. We were tripping. I had all sorts of beautiful experiences. But now I'm kind of left with all this that I've seen, and I'm not sure what to do next. Like, did you know you didn't have to go there and spend all this money? We could create this at home, or you could do it on your own bed and get more results. And here's what you do with this.
Right. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Noel, did you want to ask questions?
Hi.
Hi.
This is really very informative. I've really enjoyed it, first and foremost. I'm really glad I signed up, and I am signed up for the other two. So I'm looking forward to those as well. And I really appreciate the time, the extra time you're putting in with answering our questions. I feel like I'm a little bit of a fish out of water. I don't have a business. I don't even have anything remotely started. I'm just starting my journey in this regard. Although I've been on a healing journey for quite a while, I'm just starting to further explore gifts I might have or gifts that I do have. And I just want to know what advice you might have for somebody like myself who is looking for a little bit of direction. I feel very, what's the word I'm looking for? Scattered. And I'm not sure where to point myself. I dabble here, dabble there. I try this, I try that. When it no longer resonates, I drop it and go elsewhere. Sometimes I come back to it. I've been okay doing that, but I would kind of like to get on with it. And I don't want to sign up for something that's going to break the bank for me over, there's some people out there who are charging like, over $10,000.
I know. I know.
I don't want to do that. I'm really appreciative that this is actually something that I can really afford and I can keep putting money towards. So I'll stop talking now, but I'm really, and Audra, I see you nodding your head and I'm interested in your 12-week intuitive thing. So I'll probably get in touch with you, but I'm really looking for some guidance as to how I can stop feeling so scattered and find some direction to point myself in, or what I should be looking for, hints or something within myself. Because I'm not 100% sure.
Your desires is your GPS system. The problem is that we're raised in a way that we learn to suppress our desires by the, maturity. We become masters of it. And then when we lose it, but you have to kind of bring it back. What is it I want? Like, forget about everything. Do meditation, or even take a bath, or even have a glass of wine so you can relax. If one glass doesn't work, have two.
Are you saying I'm high strung?
So, and then you, for these few minutes, nothing else exists. You block out everything else. Nothing. I mean, nobody, not your family, not your friends, not all your, it doesn't matter. Your lovers, your spouses, kids, for these few minutes, like 5-10 minutes, you devote to this practice. Nobody else is just you. You're completely free from all obligations, duties, debts, everything else. Forget about everything your school taught, your mom and dad told you, your government told you you're supposed to do. You're completely free. And then bring your focus back. What is it I want? if you can go back in time and remember yourself as a little girl, what did you dream about? Your desires were still raw and authentic when you just came into this world. What did you dream about? What did you want to become? Remember that, and what is it if, no restrictions, if money is not questioned, if I don't owe anybody anything, what do I want? What would make my heart sing? What would make me happy? And then, going from that, how does it fit in your life? Does it align with your priorities? It should. And then you build a priority list for, not forever, not to the rest of their lives, for now. Maybe it's health, maybe it's, soul evolution or family or something else, and you focus in on that and you strategize from there. How to make sure this is I really want it. Is it my desire? Meditation, relaxation, bring your focus inside. So the thing that you dream of or you think you want, go into the future. That's already happened. Put yourself as realistically as you can into that situation. It's already happened. You already have that. You live in already that. Do you like it? Does your body respond with relaxation or tension? If there is a tension, if it doesn't feel good, it's wrong. It won't make you happy. I mean, with words in our mind, we can fool ourselves. We do it every day. We're very good at that. But body does not lie. If you listen to it, it'll tell you everything.
Yeah, I think it's just settling my mind enough and starting to practice meditation. I've avoided trying to do that for a long time. So if I could
why would you avoid something that can feel so good?
Because I guess because I'm always just like that.
It's not just sitting. Meditation is not necessarily sitting and emptying your mind, which can be very difficult for a modern mind. So much going on. It can be active meditation. It can be, even people do it walking, repeated motion. Or if you cannot, if you're struggling to focus at first, use recordings, guided meditation. But,
yes.
The best one, if your mind is very active, you cannot just, quiet down. Use your imagination to create happy scenarios and getting what you want. Then you're busy working, but you're also meditating. You're becoming a creator. You're not just in prayer begging for things to happen. You are actively creating it. This is the best way of meditating.
That would be something I would definitely enjoy practicing.
Yeah. Anything you start, record. Little journal diary is great. The best one for starters, for my clients, when they come in person, if we don't work online, I have little from dollar store. I buy the set, matching colors, of course, little calendar. The calendars that when you open the whole months with squares, you know what I mean? Whole months in one page. And then I do a little journal to, complements where they can do reflections. But any practice you start or any goal you set, you need to mark in a calendar. Okay. And later, 2, 3, 4 months later, even a year later, things start to happen in your life. Something's changing. Normally, we would dismiss life.
She froze.
Okay, everything's good.
You froze. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So what? I'm talking to myself.
So you said every time you start a practice, you put it in the calendar. And
So a few months later, 3, 4, or even a year later, you have changes, some developments in life. Something's happening. Normally, we would dismiss it. Life happened on its own. Yeah, something happened.
Okay.
But you have the written record. You go back into this calendar and you look like, no, it didn't just happen. I set it as a goal. this is what I did for this. This was my plan. I did it for that long, and that happened. This year, you need only 3-4 instances like this to convince your subconscious mind that you are capable of this.
Okay.
That you are creating your experiences and just how much control you have over it.
Yes, and I journal often, so I'll probably have to go back and look at some of the things that I was saying to myself in journal, because I talk to myself constantly. If I were to talk to anybody else, I'd talk their ear off. So I just talk to myself a lot.
This is a sign of high intelligence.
So sometimes I'm like, Noelle, you know better than that. So I do. I talk. I bounce ideas off of myself all the time. But it's so interesting conversations sometimes. But I will tell myself straight. I'll set myself straight on things too. So I have a lot of fun with that. So, but yes, definitely putting something on the calendar and then going back and looking, that's a fabulous idea. I'm going to start that right away for sure. Mm-hmm. I have things that I've done, but I don't do them with other people. I just do them for myself. I had visited with somebody who used to take me into a meditative state and would take me and had taught me some things. And I continued to practice that afterwards. When I go into what I call my sacred space, and I go in with like my inner child, I go in to have conversations with people. If I have difficulties with them, but I can't have conversations with them in real life, I will do it that way just to try and help clear the way a bit. So I've been doing that for a little bit. And one time I went in and I wanted to clear something that was really old for me, that I was really had deep sorrow over. And I thought, well, I'm going to see if I can get these 2 people in. And a group of people came in, and I was really floored by that because I didn't know I could do that. And I talked with all of them, and it was really interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting to me because I had no idea. I set an intention to go in and speak with my former stepchildren because I was not able to speak with them after that marriage broke down. And I had such deep sorrow over that for years. And that divorce happened almost a decade ago. And a couple of years ago, I thought, when I learned this practice, I thought, I'm going to try this. So I got myself all set up and I went in and I said, I'm specifically inviting these 2 people in, and anybody else in the family who wants to come, that's fine. 5 people showed up. I was shocked. But after I had my discussions with them and I did my Ho'oponopono prayer and talked with them, I found that very, very powerful for me. It really works. And then my inner child and I left our sacred space after we were done. And I do not feel sorrow. I do not feel that deep sorrow anymore. So I know I'm capable of doing things. I just don't know how with other people, and I'm still healing in areas. So I'm not sure where to go with
the cord cutting process I have described, and that's in your file. It's very easy process, but it can help you not just disconnect from people you don't want to be with, but also to have that closure. Forgiveness is if needed, so you can remove those karmic connections, so you don't carry that weight. You can clear it all. The process is very simple. It's described.
Okay. Yes. Right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, but also, what I was saying earlier, with the soul journey, you can enter other people's dreams. You can at night if you do this. Just when you're going to sleep, imagine you're moving.
Okay.
And you going. Well, the only condition, other person has to be asleep. Actually.
Okay.
It will not work if they don't sleep. So you need to do it at night. Approximately time when they sleep. So you put yourself in trance. You journey. You set an intention, entering their dream world, their cosmography, and simply imagining that you're going and entering like their home, You're sitting in front of them, and you have that conversation, that everything you need to say to get that closure. Or with little children, we do healing like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it possible for me to be pulled into other people's dreams? Because
you come out and you do cleansing. It won't hurt you. If you, the only bad thing may happen if you collected their energy, their imprints, information, and got stuck to you if you didn't clear. That may create mental problems, physical problems. You don't want to carry their yucky stuff. So cleansing, salt bath is your best friend. When you work with clients, or you know, when salt bath is not available, little spray bottle, water, salt, you can add few drops of your favorite essential oils, and I spray it after each client. So
at work.
Yeah. The strongest neutralizer of energy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, who's next? Who else has questions?
I
know you were laughing about like doing it at work, but I do that all the time. Like when you need a reset, the scent, something about the scent is very strong, and it resets those neurotransmitters in your mind, and it really works. So get some sage spray, or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mint is cleansing. Also citrus is cleansing. Rosemary, eucalyptus. Yeah, they're all cleansing.
I have a quick question related to that.
Mm-hmm.
When journeying in those realms, or when entering people's dreams or anything, like what sort of ethics are there, or what is required around permissions, even at like bringing someone else into a journey? Is there anything like that to consider?
Well, first of course, you will encounter guards, most likely. As I said earlier, not everyone has it, but you may encounter. You will have to respond, answer to them. Why are you there? What intent do you have? You're not going to be let in with bad intent. If you intend to cause harm, you will not be let in. Like, people say, oh, like curses, attacks, it's so easy. I mean, it's not easy. First of all, your own army may not allow you. The other people have too, somebody to protect them.
That's excellent.
So when you have clear intent, when you come, from a good place, whether to have a conversation or with the purpose of healing, or you need the closure, like you come with your own pain and you need that closure, yes, you will be let in. Otherwise, it's, you need to be black magician, sorcerers to be able to get through that. It's not an easy work.
That helps so much, because like my thing has always been around like informed consent, but of course certain people don't understand what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. So if it's like with good intent,
you're not gonna get informed consent from
that
situation. You how do you imagine? Like, let me shoot email. I'm going to hack into your dream tonight. How do you feel about it? Yes, no. Simple answer.
Wow.
So I teach psychic combat. We did research. There's a specific psychic combat. We developed, experimented, and I was teaching it, and I still teach it. And I feel some elements of it are crucial for young men who are raised to be girls here. I'm sorry, who don't have confidence, who don't have this masculinity awakened. So I teach those. And yes, there are situations when you need to be aggressive, but as I said, it takes enormous amount of efforts to pass through somebody's guards. If you have to be, even if you come, simplify. If you intend to hurt somebody, but you coming from the right, you in the right, you've been attacked, you've been hurt, you are protecting yourself or your children. That's why you're there. If you're in the right, you will be allowed to do this.
Mm.
If you're in the wrong, sometimes you still will be, but it will take enormous amount of effort. It's not easy.
That really resonates with me, what you just said, because there was a time where I did have to do some spiritual work on my son, which I don't do often because he's only 12. But there was a time when it was urgent and I needed to do it. And there have been other times where I think that it's urgent and it needs to be done, and it does take and it's exhausting, and that's when I know that I better just step back.
Maybe there's a other way.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a better way to deal with this. Yeah.
So that really resonated.
But especially when it comes to children, whatever you do, no matter how awful it is, it may seem by normal standards, if you are protecting your child, you're allowed to do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay?
Yeah.
This world, any force, any god, like doesn't matter which side, dark, light, whatever, evil, they will all stand on the side of mother, especially if you're abandoned mother, you're on your own with the children, if you're divorced, especially. No matter what you're gonna do to protect your child, any force will be on your side. You have a free pass.
That's
Which is not free. If you've been a single mom, you know what it is.
right.
You know how hard it is.
Yeah.
But you will be always in the right. You have to do what it takes, because nobody else will. Nobody will stand up for you.
Can you speak more into what you said just a few minutes ago about the classes that you teach about, or the sessions that you provide of the
Psychic comeback I teach. I do it every fall. It's 3 months coaching program. It's not for therapists, it's for regular people, common people who needs, it's usually young men. Very rare I have girls joining, usually teenage or 20s, who have trouble with confidence or bullied, those sort of things. So it's a weekly, it used to be live in the office, now it's Zoom. So it's weekly 1 hour session for 12 weeks.
And what's the age groups for that?
There is no limit because, we don't do drugs, we don't have sex.
Right.
So,
well, I'm just thinking of like maturity level and comprehension ability. Like, my son.
I would say like 12, 13, not less than that.
Okay.
Because 12, 13, this is where, from metaphysical point, this is the gate of power. So he's already adult. Gate of power is opened up.
Yeah, I would be interested in having my son maybe participate with you.
All right. And there is another one I do for how not to be the doormat. That's winter too. That's usually women, okay? Because we have more problems with this. And the domestic abuse and all this. Like, we're taught to be so nice. God forbidden hurt anybody. So we lay ourselves out on the floor for everyone to walk all over. I myself had problems with this. I had to do a lot of work. So I know how to help women now. So,
may I ask one more quick question?
Yeah.
Sorry. Around the realms, the upper, middle, and lower, I've been finding I'm very comfortable, or naturally, like that diagram itself was like the whole workshop you could have just shown me that paper and I would have felt like I got all the value I needed. Like, I realize how comfortable I've been journeying in the upper realms and how naturally my guides that's where I've gone. And even to the point that some of what happens in the middle or lower feels not as familiar, but also I know it's not where I typically operate from.
Did you see could be an issue of not feeling secure enough? First of all, not feeling safe going down. Okay.
Yeah.
Another issue the model of the world might be faulty a little bit, not ready to accept both sides, the duality of this world. As long as you divide what's light, what's dark, what's evil, what's good, if you separate, it's not possible to say those things are together, they're not separate. But we tend to separate. As you have the separation, your all extrasensory abilities will not open up to the fullest.
I think I hear you and totally agree with that. I've actually done a lot of growth with like around the darker energies in my tantric journey, and also like working with the earth energy. I just find that when I journey naturally, that's often where I experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree, like I'm continuing to pull apart any of the programming in my life that has
Mm-hmm.
kind of that light dark duality in it.
It's also probably because of your tantric experiences. This is what like whole sacred sex things. This is how we're supposed to live it. Shit to the world, that and it becomes a habit, and then you like it so much there, and what you get in that sweetness, the deliciousness, and that's maybe like becomes automatic. This is where you're drawn. Still don't neglect the other side, because the physicality, the physical health, if you need to work with abundance matter and stuff, it's not up there.
So can I tell you something that's just a testament to, again, your teaching and your medicine and all that you've offered here? Last year, about 16 months ago, I actually did a couple nights ayahuasca, and I feel the same about it since experiencing that. I think it's very big. But I started a journey of being completely vegan from an experience I had deep within working with that medicine. And I was vegan. I've been only vegan for the last 16 months. Yesterday, I went to a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and she begged me to eat an egg. So I ate an egg just before your workshop. And after you're speaking, I could feel things changing in me. And I'm feeling the call to actually incorporate meat, egg, and put those things back in my diet, because I can feel what you're saying in terms of the physical health, and also not detaching from the physical, because I realized so often that because that what was happening, I was going into trance states and into what you would call like an ascension, but it was really a checking out. And so I just wanted to say thank you. All of this has been so amazing.
Audra, I teach Tantra. And I always interacting with this community, and the way it's usually taught, yes, you need to be vegan, like this to reach enlightenment. It's not possible with this. What I will tell you is, if your spiritual path requires you to hurt yourself, put a price tag, you have to pay with your health, it's not spirituality, it's religion.
Yes.
Okay. And even I've studied Tantra for over 20 years. Okay. The Vedic scriptures, when you read the ancient scriptures, all the saints, they were hunting and eat meat. Why are the people not allowed? Why is it not spiritual?
Yeah.
The King Adra was hunting. Every scripture has a description of his hunting and eating meat. I work with Indian people who generation to generations, vegetarians, children born with never developed teeth. There are horrible abnormalities, horrible health issues. Brain is not developing. We only became what we are now because we started eating meat. And this is what you said. I don't feel I need to go back. That's what I do in my office. Let's go back so you can, the anxiety, the weakness, and not eating meat, even your gallbladder you can get cancer from it. Did you know that? Inflammation, stones, and then it goes through later in years, you can get cancer because gallbladder, you cannot shut down. It produces bile, which kind of spits out, I think 30 milliliters every half an hour, you cannot stop it. It's like faucet. But if you don't, it's only created with the purpose of digesting meat. If you don't put any meat, it spits out, it digests you. What do you think is going to happen with your body? Am I making sense? I can't hear you, Audra. Are you by the fridge? Are you by the fridge?
I was nodding away, but I realized it's probably just on your screen.
Like,
yes.
I thought maybe you left, went to the
Oh no!
fridge.
Yeah, I went outside.
Yeah,
To get a big steak
it's
or
crucial.
a
We need it, and I will tell you just from observation. Like, look at the history. So, entire country not eating meat. India, they were oppressed. It's only what 1960s when the British left India. For so long, in our time, they were colonized. They couldn't stand up for themselves, couldn't protect themselves, because giving in into the spirituality of it just shocks me. There's such a amazing culture and traditions and spirituality was twisted in a way to hurt the entire country, to disempower entire country. They couldn't fight back for their freedom. Kindness must have fists. You cannot protect yourself. You have to be a warrior. You cannot be a warrior if you don't eat meat. Yeah. Serious health issues. Women become infertile within 2 years, sometimes earlier, of not eating meat. A man become impotent very soon, and they don't understand what's happening. They're doing everything they've been told. And then when you talk to vegetarians, and I know because I experience all the time, even they pay me to help them. And I start explaining, they get so mad at me. It's like a cold. Some religious cold. You're crazy. They get so mad. Sometimes I have to end session right then, and then they come back like months later. Okay, I still need help.
It's so refreshing to hear that perspective. It just is so refreshing, because I've always participated, there was a 200-hour yoga class that I had to drop out because the teacher was putting this dogma of veganism on everybody.
And then go fast for a week, right?
Yeah, no, I try to live a little more balanced. I try to be cruelty-free, but have good food, like have nutrient-dense, rich food. And so it's so nice just to hear that from a spiritual teacher, because it's so rare. So I quietly do my own thing. And, if someone wants to project that I'm vegan or vegetarian, that's cool. You do you. But, I'm just going to live the balanced life. It's so nice to hear you say it. Thank you.
Isn't it funny that we live to the day you have to hide that you're a meat eater, that you're trying to stay alive? Yeah. Right. Any more questions?
Could I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it's just back to the soul retrieval. I mean, like, people are going to come and obviously know about it when they come, but they're obviously going to ask. Oh, my word, my cat. They're obviously going to ask. Well, I don't know if they're obviously going to ask it, but what is the way? I mean, did they get some kind of cleanse afterwards, or is it just instant rejuvenation? Or, I mean, is there any like side effects? I don't know. I don't even know what to put into words, but is there any of that afterwards? I mean, I know everyone's different and possibly people.
I drafted the things to put on your website, so people already, before even calling you, they have an idea. So, but you adapt to each client, whatever wording they use, then you implement. What did they lose? Strength, health, luck. Some people say, I've lost all my luck because I met this not nice person and stuff. So bringing that back, of course, they'll feel the effect of it. But purely, soul retrieval, of course, they should feel stronger. And you have experienced it today. So then you explain that. Well, through the traumatic events, we tend to lose parts of our self, consciousness, energy, soul, whatever you might want to call it. Now we're retrieving, so you can become stronger, more wholesome, more solid. You're retrieving all these parts, so you become healthier and more confident, more energetic.
I mean, I don't know if anyone else felt, but I got teary with that. This is, with that retrieval that you did. I got teary. It felt good to be climbing in that stump and like getting to grips with it. I mean, I've had hypnotherapy before, and she said that she'd like to work on my grounding, and every like practice or therapy that I've been to, I've always mentioned that I need to ground more. And that became very evident in December just gone with the hypnotherapy. But yeah, I just wanted to, I mean, my experience, did anyone else experience anything when they had that meditation? What Guzalia did for us then?
Been a release of emotions or energy. This is normal because we're so busy with everything, we never stop. And here, all of a sudden, you have those few minutes where you're completely relaxed and you feel safe. You open up. Whatever was bottled in, you can release now freely. Tyrion, you have to look. I don't start hypnosis session with that box of tissues because I know everyone's gonna cry. It doesn't matter for what they came. I have huge bikers and tattoos and big beards that come just to quit smoking, and they still cry. And like, oh, nobody gonna know. You're not gonna tell anybody. Like, it's just you, me, and the camera. Don't worry. So this is normal, and it's good to release that whatever you were holding on to. Sometimes I implement that soul retrieval technique in a regular classic hypnotherapy session. I mean, don't explain what it is. Just tell them, imagine little pieces around you that were lost. I don't go into much detail, breathing them back in, feel more content, more that. They say, I don't know what happened, what it was, but I feel kind of different.
Magic.
So you have to mold it to the client's model of the world, to their language. So all sorts of people will come. Some maybe Catholics. Then you bring them upwards into the heaven, put archangels next to them, and run the light through and bring the lost pieces. You have to be adaptable because not everyone's the same.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
You did, you did. Okay. You did.
All right.
You did. I almost had the answer myself, but I wanted to hear what you said just in case there anything more, I don't know, drastic or, you've already wrote it down anyway, but yeah, you did answer. Thank you.
So you can look at this process that I taught, just one of the tools you would use in hypnosis if you do hypnosis with clients, but also you can offer it as a ready-made service, advertise it, but I would suggest put it on a separate page from other services so people don't get confused.
Yeah.
If you offer something else, separate it. We'll have lots of hats to wear, but if you put all of them at once, people get confused.
Yeah,
and then you are not going to attract the right kind of clients.
Yeah.
Okay, so because if I have hypnotherapy, I don't put my divinations or tantric sessions there because they're mostly referred by doctors and they don't expect that. Any other questions?
In regards to someone, for example, who might be Catholic or come from a church, when I first started doing readings, I didn't know anything about the person, but the person would show up and I would notice different energies that tended to be aligned with whatever now what I understand is egregores or whatever mind, like, or formations or spirits or things they felt connected to. There was a part there where you talked about calling in the right, calling in guides at the beginning. So the guides.
So the guides you call
when you
in
set the
for
circle.
you work with a session, you call in yours, not
My
theirs.
guides.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you know, in the session, if they start speaking or afterwards, you have to understand that they may have something different from what you intend, and so that will help you to decode better what the vision meant. Or
Right. So like when you set the circle, like you showed on the form, you call in as the
yours.
practitioner, you call in yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and in clinical settings, nobody needs to know that. You
Nobody,
do it on
yeah,
your
you
own.
can call
Yeah.
it in quietly,
Yeah.
silently.
Yeah.
But if you're leading the person through theirs, do you call in any of their supports, or do you wait until later in the journey to see who
In
shows
the
up?
journey, if they're struggling to pass through, which it really does not happen often,
Okay.
they will say, I can't get through, or somebody's standing, or there is a like barrier or a curtain, I can't get through. Then, or they get scared, abreaction happen. It's very rare, but may happen. Then, yeah, call in your guardians. You tell them, or bring your angels in, like call in your angels. Now they're next to you. You don't describe them in details because what they see or want to see is very different from what you want to see. So then you use vague language.
Yes.
Don't specify them.
Right. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? We're good? All right. All right. Well, thank you very, very much for choosing to spend this beautiful Saturday listening to my, gibberish and crazy things. And I really appreciate that. Really enjoyed having you here. So I will follow up with all the files. Make sure that you all get it. If you don't, for whatever reason, contact me. Okay? Okay. Well, have a nice rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.